Hello everyone. So today I want to talk about lucid dreams and whether or not they're just dreams or if they are in fact another layer of reality. I also want to discuss how we define real. So let's start off with some lucid dreaming definitions. So most people would probably define lucid dreaming as becoming aware in the dream that what you're experiencing is not real. I would certainly beg to differ with that. That is not my definition at all. Like I said in a previous video, I do consider all layers of existence to be real in their own way. So personally for me, to demote dreams into the realms of unreal is naive and unfair. So I think the definition needs to be honed, and so I would probably define lucid dreaming as becoming aware in the dream that what you're experiencing is your own manifestation. So skeptics would probably come back at me and say, well, that definition outright proves that dreaming is not real, because if you're manifesting it yourself, how can it be real? But of course, anyone that's familiar with quantum physics will know that our waking life is the exact same thing. Quantum physics has proven to us that in our every day-to-day waking life, we create and manifest what we're seeing through conscious observation of it. This is scientific fact. Therefore, if you consider that our dreams are not real because we are creating them, we are manifesting them, then you must also accept that our waking life is also not real. So at the moment, with the evidence I've presented so far, we must all accept that either our waking life and our dream state are both unreal, or that our waking life and dream state are both real. Because so far, like I said, with the evidence I've presented, there is no distinction between the two whatsoever. Interestingly enough, scattered throughout history are clues that our elders actually did believe that our waking life was also a dream. So many things in myths, in nursery rhymes. So let me think of one right now. Okay, well, the first one that springs to mind is the nursery rhyme that goes, "Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream." So many of us have sung that little nursery rhyme either to our kids or we've heard it from our parents, and I would wager a bet that 95% of us have never really properly taken in those lyrics and analysed them. So hey, maybe none of this is real. Maybe everything is just a dream. But it's not just as simple as that, because what does it mean for something to be a dream? Does that automatically demote it into the realms of unreal? Not necessarily. And that's the point I'm getting at. We need to try and define the term real. But before I do that, let's discuss something else quickly. Let's talk about the science behind perception, our perception in waking life. Anyone that has done any research into perception will know that everything we are seeing is actually just a construct of the brain. We don't actually see with our eyes, we see with the brain. So everything we perceive is just our mind's take on what's out there. It's not actually what's out there. Because whilst we're in these bodies, we're stuck in here. We have never actually left our brain. There is no way of getting out. Well, there is, arguably, if you believe in OBEs, which I do. But let's not even go there right now. Let's just stay in the physical. So we all have to accept, through scientific fact, that we are stuck within here. We cannot get out of here. So like I said, everything we perceive is merely our brain's take on what's out there, not what is really, truly out there. So to put it simply, everything we see and experience is actually happening within ourselves, not without. An easy way to prove to yourself that what we're seeing is an edited view of reality is to do some research into the colour spectrum. We only see a very, very tiny amount of what's really out there. We don't see radio waves, we don't see microwaves, we don't see ultraviolet, we don't see gamma rays, etc., etc. This is all provable scientific fact. So, irrefutably, we are seeing an edited view of reality that is actually occurring within the brain, not outside of ourselves. So as this begins to sink in, we have to accept that our waking life is in fact an illusion of the mind. And wow, doesn't that sound like something else we were talking about a minute ago? Doesn't that kind of sound like dreaming? And so our mainstream accepted version of reality is really, really being questioned here. And you know, none of this is metaphysical or airy-fairy. I've stayed very much rooted within scientific, provable fact. So, what is reality? What is really going on? Something more than meets the eye, right? Okay, before we go any further, I think it's really important that we try and define the word real. Okay? So let's try and do that. And it's hard. It really is hard. This would probably be a good time to pause the video maybe and have a little think to yourself. So I suggest you do that. You don't have to, but I think it would be really great if we could all now take some time out and really, really question what is reality, what is real. Define the word real. Okay, so I think one of the first things that most people will think of is that real is something solid and tangible. That's the first thing I thought as well. But if that is your definition of real, then your waking life is certainly not real. As quantum physics has proven to us, everything we perceive in our waking life as solid isn't. Everything we touch might feel solid to us, but that's just another illusion of the mind. Everything in the universe is in fact pretty much empty. I can't remember the exact percentage, but it's pretty much 99% of everything in the universe is just empty space. So when we hold that cup in our hands, that solid feeling that we register is an illusion. Again, this isn't airy-fairy or metaphysical. This is proven scientific fact. So maybe we could define real as something that evokes a strong emotion within us. That was the second thing I thought of. And yeah, that's fair enough, but if that's how you define real, then you must also define your dreams as real. Because, undeniably, we've all experienced very, very intense emotions within dreams. So I've been discussing this for over 9 minutes now, and we still haven't found any distinction between dreams and waking life. Like I said earlier, at the moment, with the evidence I've presented so far, we've either got to accept that both are real or both are unreal. There is no distinction to be found here. Okay, so let's try one last time to define real. Real is a constant, a running constant. This was the third thing I thought of. And finally, we're getting somewhere. Because yes, our waking life does seem to have a more coherent, cohesive flow compared to our dreams. So we're finally getting somewhere. I think this is why we perceive our waking life as real and our dreams as unreal. But is the constant we experience in waking life really enough to demote dreams into the realms of unreal? Well, that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about in the next video, so please tune back, and namaste.